Hello, hope you've been happy, healthy, and safe. Today we are here going to do a pick your card reading. Timestamps will be down below. So whichever pile you're drawn to, I only do 3 piles. They're always named 1, 2, or 3. So take a moment, meditate on whatever number calls to you, and we will get right into the reading. I will meet you at the timestamp below. These are general readings, almost personal though. So take what resonates and leave the rest. If it doesn't resonate for you, it probably won't resonate for you. However, there are really good messages, so I do suggest it. You were drawn here for a reason. So if you're drawn to a video and you watched and you're like, the scenario doesn't really, there still might be a message in it for you. If you do want a message, I do suggest subscribing, liking, hitting that notification bell for any new videos, because it does help me to connect to your spirit guides and your angels if there is a message you want to hear. It also helps the algorithms and that sort of thing. So to get to the people that the messages are truly meant for. So that would be really great if you could help out. Okay, so pile 1, we're going to jump into pile 1. I'm going to clear the energies, and then we will call in your angels and guides, and then we will get them ready for messages. Okay, so count of 3. Okay, good. Okay, we will use this pile for pile 1. Okay. See, what is your challenge? What is your challenge, pile 1? Yes, that is. Okay, so. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so your challenge, you have the third eye chakra and the base chakra. This will be an interesting reading. I can feel it already. Okay, so for you guys that pick pile 1, your challenge right now is connecting your third eye. I feel like there needs to be, like, you're not grounding I wanted to say perfectly, but right. You're not grounding right, or you're not grounding at all for some of you. And so there needs to be balance between these two. Okay, so your base chakra and your third eye chakra, you need to create balance here. Healing on the third eye and the new beginnings with figuring out how to ground. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of videos on YouTube that will walk you through grounding, opening your third eye. So I suggest Googling those and figuring out, which ones. Some people's voices might annoy you, or the music might annoy you. So that's what I found. So you might have to dig through a few, and then once you find like a meditation that works well for you, kind of my suggestion is stick with it for a time. A couple weeks, month, maybe you'll listen to it for years, who knows, right? But that'll really help you ground and open up. Okay, that's for some of you. Basically for all of you, by doing this, it is going to help you with your stability, with seeing what it is you need to see in order to create your stability. Okay, so that's kind of what your challenge is. Is seeing that stability that might be right in front of you. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, you have the moving on card. I feel like for some of you, because of the challenge is being grounded and not seeing, okay? Being grounded and not seeing. So there was something within your foundations, your everyday life, that you were not seeing, okay? And you need to move on from it. Okay, you need to move on because I feel like then it was exposed and you were like, oh my God, how did I not see this? It's because you need grounding in order to open that third eye. And basically it's popping in my head, as above so below, right? Like you have to balance the two in order to get the result you want, right? But in any case, you are moving on. You need to move on from a situation. Okay. You also need to open up again. And she's got, she's holding her hands. If you can see in this picture, she's holding her hands above. So you need to open up that crown in order to get the messages, in order to see. So my suggestion is start out, if you're not familiar with chakras, if you're not familiar, start out with a meditation. Google or YouTube a healing meditation for the chakras and just really start there. Like open them all up and balance them all. That's really gonna help you, right? It's gonna help you heal from whatever this is you're moving past, okay? It will also help you observe. It will help you to observe basically situations for what they are. It'll give you new beginnings within partnerships, relationships. You'll be able to see things clearer. You'll be a better judge of character. By using discernment. Okay. All right. Good. Let's get some more advice. Let's use these guys. Let's get some more advice on how you can do this as well. You have the Truth card. By opening up your chakra systems and that, truths might be revealed to you that maybe, I'm getting an element here of maybe you didn't really want to hear, but spirit, like this kind of, if you can see this little, it's like a little face up there, is whispering to that tree. It's like truths will be revealed to you when you open up more, okay? When you and you will be able to move on, and there'll be growth for you on what feels like kind of a deserty, like, it's not really deserty, but it's not abundant. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have new beginnings. Like, this is gonna open you up into a world you're gonna be like, oh my goodness. Possibilities, perspectives, all that kind of stuff. Everything new is gonna be presented to you by literally just by working on those chakras, okay? It will help you to see things for the truth instead of the illusion that seems to play out in front of us, right? It'll help you move on too. It'll help you move on from past experiences, and yeah, just really open that door and to new beginnings, okay? And letting the sun, come in and things like that, okay? But there needs to be stability first. Like, you have to work on your base chakra first, above all. That's why it's the first chakra, okay, in the chakra system. Okay, what else? Power. There needs to be, I feel like, by opening up your chakras, you will be taking your power back in situations. But again, with the truth card coming through, you have to be willing, because when you open up the chakras, your world around you kind of changes, and you start seeing things for differently. Just differently. You're like, oh my god. Like, why? And so sometimes, and even though this is going to bring about a new beginning for you, Dark Night of the Soul is coming through. It will also, because you're opening up to new truths, and why is this like this, and oh my god, like, how did I not see that? And it'll bring you into like a dark night. So old fears and old ideas might come creeping back in and bring you into what we call as a dark night of the soul. Google that. They can explain it way better than I can. But if you've ever gone through a dark, and basically you can go through a dark night of the soul without even opening up any of your chakras, and I do believe that a lot of that is led to, things like people not understanding. They get in a really low place, and then they become suicidal and things like that. With a dark night of the soul, you might become a little bit depressed, or like you're gonna question things and be like, things might make you unhappy for a little while. Some people experience this differently. Some people experience it for, a week, a couple days. Some people experience it for years. But just note that if you are in this kind of, everything's kind of, you're seeing things differently, but kind of like, oh my god, just understand that it's normal, and that it will pass, and it does pass. And once you get to the other side of the dark night of the soul, it's amazing. So it's important for you to begin, though, opening up those and working on your base chakra and opening up, right? Working all the way to that crown. And hold your power all the way through. And then you got the gateway. So this is going to be a gateway for you. It's going to, once you, first you start with chakras, then you start with meditation, then you might get into sound therapy. I mean, it opens up a gateway for you to go through to become this mystical, magical. You might think it's mystical and magical, but really it's not. Right? It's just, there really is more than what we perceive in front of us, okay? And this, if you've come to this reading, if you clicked on this reading, then you are a very select few that is well on their way to a new beginning, to see. It might seem to others like you're in a fantasy world, but it's actually quite the opposite. You're actually not in a fantasy world. It's like where all the veils and all the things and all the programming, it begins to fall away. And then that's when you become to see reality for what it actually is. Okay? Welcome to your journey. Sorry. I have to laugh because it's funny when people just are starting out. They're like, oh my god. I remember when I started out, I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, now it's like, whatever. Nothing. Here's the thing. You go through, the beginning phases of your spiritual journey. You work on all this shit. Everything's so new and unbelievable to you. You're kind of in that disbelief. You're like, is this real? Did this really happen? And then you move to the dark night of the soul and you're like, oh my god, I want nothing to do with this. Everything, I wish I never worked on my third eye. And you're just like, oh my god. And you might be tired and you might be depressed and you might lose friends and family members and you might be alone for a while, and then you get past that, and then it's like, oh my god, I'm so happy, I love life. And you're just like, okay, and then you mellow out, and then you just, nothing surprises you, and you're just kind of, your default mode is just happy and chill, and you just float on down, and it's like, this happened before, maybe this happened to you, and that happened to you, and this happened to you, and you're like, oh my god, but now, if this happens to you, and that happens to you, now you're like, whatever, you're just kind of like, going on with your day, you're like, yeah, and you're not really surprised by anything that happens to you, because you're like, yeah, that what goes up must come down. Right? As above, so below. Everything, everything just flows. It just flows. You can't change. You can struggle to change the outcome, but there's no guarantee that you will. And so once you figure that out, that there's no guarantee that you can change the outcome of anything, you become, you've arrived at where you should be. Okay, diligence. Still, Spirit is saying you still want to be diligent. Like, don't just completely give up and do nothing. Still make an effort to, get where you're going, manifest your goals, pay your bills, things like that. Still do those things, but there's a point where, maybe you can't force somebody to if you're looking for a job, you can't force someone to hire you. You can't force someone to love you if you're looking for a relationship. You can't force things. So there's a point where you have to just go with the flow, and then that's all you can do. And you can still try, you know, you can still go out and date, you can still apply for jobs, you can still go for interviews. But don't be so discouraged when all those things, you know, fail, because rejection is the universe's protection. So if, you know, if you're met by not being picked, say if you're an actor and you're not being picked for a specific role, then, you know, maybe that role wasn't meant for you. Maybe something will come along that is, you know, same. So just still keep your diligence, do what you have to do, don't give up on life, things like that, okay? And then change. You have the freedom to change. So if you don't like where you are now, you can always change it, okay? And, you know, and sometimes that comes with the dark night of the soul. It comes with being, you know, if you don't like the people you're around and you need to change that, you know you need to change that. Don't fear moving away from those people because you're going to be alone. If being alone is your only reason you're hanging around these people that you maybe don't even like or that don't appreciate you, then why are you doing it? Only because you're scared to be alone? So freedom, you understand that you hold the freedom. We all have free will, so you hold the freedom to change your life. If you don't like something, you change it. Okay? Okay, okay, that's good for, I think we'll get, a surrender card and a message from the universe, and we'll leave pile 1 there, and we'll move on to pile 2. This was a good reading. I liked it. Reading, the thing about readings is, I like all my reading, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the readings don't make sense because I'm channeling for you. This reading, I'm channeling for you, but I'm also teaching you, so that's why I like it. I'm teaching you more than I teach in other readings, if that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, surrender to setting limits is your surrender card. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. So this is something you need to surrender to. You need to surrender to your boundaries. You need to surrender to not people pleasing. You need to surrender to saying no when you don't want to do something, because it feels like quite often you do things you don't want to do. Okay? So, good. Good, and a message from the universe. Let's see, what does the universe have to tell you? Oh, geesh. 2 things. Do all things in moderation. So, some people go down the rabbit hole or the spiritual path and they get all crazy, and their life tends to become not balanced. So spirit reminding you that you still need to pay the bills. You still need to, clean the house. You still need to go out and visit your friends. You need to go to the doctor. You need to go shopping. You need to do all those things. You can't stop doing them and just become a spiritual guru and lock yourself in a cave and go on your spiritual quest. Some people do that, and but then they wonder why their life is in shambles when they get out. So balance, moderation. Don't go, I don't like to use that word, but don't go crazy about the situation, right? Okay. You had 2 cards fall, so we'll grab the other one. Message from the universe. Oh, you got 3. Huh. Okay, tune out distractions. So, very important for you guys starting on your meditative journey. It's hard to meditate when you got kids screaming and husbands yelling and that sort of stuff. You need to be able to pick a time, a place. So, you know, if you go in the evening for a bath, that's a great place to put some headphones on and meditate. You know, take that quiet time for yourself where you're not going to be distracted, okay? And then do something different. Yeah, like, so we get in the habit of doing the same thing over and over and over again, day after day. But just remember that comfort zones are great, but every once in a while we have to go out and do something different, right? We have to, if we want a different result, we have to do something different. And that could be as simple as starting your chakra journey. That's something different, maybe outside your box. So yeah, try new things. If there's things that you need, maybe you don't know what you like to do, or you know, maybe people have been telling you, or you've been telling yourself that you're not artistic. Maybe you need to go, and this can be simple. You could go to the dollar store and get a simple paint kit, right? Some paints, they come in, and just start and try. How do you know until you try, right? So they do something different, standing out strongly. Okay, good. This was very good. Okay, I wish you all the best, and until next time, take care. Okay, moving on to pile 2. We are going to move on, clear the energies from pile 1 and move on to pile 2. Alright, pile 2. Whew. Okay, let's get one more. Okay, I'm hearing someone say, like, almost singing it, "Run away with me." I don't know if that is actually a song, or it just, yeah, it feels like someone is in love right now. Okay. It's kind of how this is, I'm picking this up. I don't want to specifically zone in on a love reading, so I'm gonna use my general cards here and we'll see what comes through, okay, for this this group. We'll see what this situation is right now. Oh. Victory and success. So the situation for you guys is healing and victory and success, okay? There seems to be some movement in this area for, I believe, love and communication. This card is pointing, yeah, in partnership. So there's victory and success for you in a partnership, okay? And it revolves around communication, something that you communicated recently, okay? Is this a challenge for you? No. I'm not feeling this is a challenge reading. I'm feeling this is a confirmation reading. Okay, there's a change here. You have the emotional loss, but in the regard that I'm reading these cards and what I'm channeling, I'm not feeling that there is a bad emotional loss. I'm feeling like there is a good emotional loss that has changed everything. Okay? Let's dig a little deeper. And just as I said that, I got chills. So it's a confirmation from Spirit that yes, it's a good emotional loss, okay? Because it does feel like something was healed. You know, he's playing the trumpet here. He's pretty happy. Choices and movement that you made, they're good. It's good. It's good. Feels like. Okay. Oh. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, you have the Love Begins card, and then you have Awareness. So maybe something has been just illuminated to you, made aware. Maybe about whatever this is, something's been made aware, and your cup is overflowing right now, okay? And this guy looks pretty happy and smug too. This looks good. Okay, so let's get some advice then. What do you need? Okay, because this feels new. It says, because you have the Love Begins card, it does feel new. New. Very, very new. Okay. Very new. This has been made. Come to your awareness. Now, you want to keep the new. You want to keep this feeling. This new, this good feeling going. So, in that case, what is it that what advice does Spirit have for you to keep this connection strong? To keep this feeling? Balance. Stability and standing firm with a 4 and 0. So balance coming through, meaning if, say, you were in relationships that weren't balanced, so there was more give than there was take, there was more, so it feels fresh, it feels new, it feels like woohoo, like it just feels really good right now. Right now it feels really good. Right now it feels really good. Okay, you need to halt. Don't move too fast and end up in a codependent or a situation where you give more, they give more. Slow the situation down and create that balance that's going to create the structures that you're actually going after within your dynamic, within your dynamic between the two of you, okay? You also have healing the heart, power of self-love. Unions and decisions. So there needs to be a decision here to end certain habits in order to bring about that self-love. And in this case, what I'm picking up from this is codependency. You need to set boundaries. You need to stay in your frame. In order for this connection to remain strong, there needs to be balance, and that balance has to do with codependency, I do believe, with self-love. So when we let the insecurities and when we give too much, that creates resentment, those types of things. So we need to come back to self and remember to fill our own cup before we can fill the cups of our significant other, okay? Okay, good. Okay, what else? What other advice do you have, please, Spirit, for them? Clairvoyance, inspiration, interpretation, and trust. So interpretation standing out here, and trust, as well as inspiration. So first we'll start with interpretation. So there needs to be a sense of trust in order to interpret things correctly, okay? And then remember this movement, decisions, choices. The blue stands for communication. And then purity of communication is how I'm reading this, okay? And then in here, yeah, and then you got the 3 and the 5. So there needs to be an element here of using your intuition when it comes to communication. And your ability to change situations based on your communication, okay? Like, an example would be, you know, you and your significant other get into a fight over something. You disagree. It's important to trust your intuition, but to they're saying step back and see how you can communicate with more inspiration and interpretation. Like, ask the other person what it is that how they interpret the situation, because you may be interpreting the situation completely different than they're interpreting the situation. And so if you can establish that communication right off the bat, you'll avoid unnecessary conflicts. innovation, new creations. And then with this we have owls, so wisdom. You're gonna become wiser when it comes to your relationships, and not just this partnership but all partnerships, because you're understanding a new way to communicate that is going to be innovative and inspire others. Okay? And then you have twin flames. So this very well could be your twin flame. So a soul partner. You do feel very connected here. You have new beginnings after healings. We have the tiger with the light going down on the tiger. So there's a lot of downloads. Maybe you're getting. Maybe you guys have a very telepathic connection. Very strong connection, very fierce connection. But I am feeling that decisions, they need to be made with an element of intuition and logic. It needs to be, again, the balance. There needs to be balance there, okay? All right, good. Okay, let's get a surrender card. And then we'll get a message from the universe. Okay, what do you need to surrender for your highest and best good in this situation? Surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. And she's walking with the lion here. So it's important that you surrender to, in this case, I am feeling, know the worth you come forward with. So in past situations or past relationships, perhaps you didn't approach the relationship with power. Like you didn't approach the situation knowing your own worth. So Spirit really highlighting that you need to step forward with that power, okay? That fierceness, that I know my worth, and don't put up with any sort of BS or anything, because remember, this is a new connection. You don't know exactly how it's going to turn out yet, so just make sure you don't put up with anything that's going to hurt you later, okay? And then let's get a message from the universe for you, and then we will leave the reading there, move on to pile 3. Okay. Keep your commitments. Again, yeah. So, again, that balance. So don't, like, say if the two of you, your partner's like, hey, you want to go to this tonight? I got tickets to blah, blah, blah. But you already had tickets to see a concert with your girlfriends. Don't ditch your girlfriends because you want to go hang out with your partner. Okay? If you made the commitment before that commitment, then you stick to the commitment you made first. You set boundaries right off the bat. Because if you're always like dropping everything you have to do, not only will you lose the friends you had before the relationship, if you end up breaking up, you're losing them. They're gonna be like, hey, you ditched me because you wanted to hang out with so and so, right? So don't get in that bad habit. And the question being, would they do that for you? So why you keep doing that for them? And maybe you did that in your past relationships, but Spirit really reminding you to keep your commitments, okay? Okay, good. Okay, now we will move on to pile 3. Okay, what do you have to say, pile 3? Okay, good. Alright, okay, let's use these guys for this pile. These guys over there. Those ones keep wanting to slide. They keep sliding towards me. Like, there's a deck here that the cards just keep, like, sliding. Like, I'm not touching the deck, they just keep sliding. There's nothing blowing. I don't know why they keep sliding. I don't know if I don't, maybe I should take that card? I don't know. I will after I do the reading, right? Because I don't, if anything, it's for me. It's not for you guys. So, anyway. Story of my life. Okay, so what do we have for you? Oh, no, too many. I'm going to keep shuffling, and if it comes out again, it's meant for you. If not, it was not meant for you. Okay. Okay. For you. Challenge. Okay, this is a challenge for you. The 3 of fire coming out here. So the challenge is goals, maybe expansion, maybe a vision you're having right now. It seems like there's a block coming. Maybe there's 3 blocks ahead of you. But you're passionate to go forward with your goals is how I'm feeling here. Okay, let's get more. Justice. So there's something hindering you right now when it comes to the Justice card. So this could be a legal matter. It could be, a conflict within institution, so school, work, or it could be a conflict just within a personal relationship, okay? Like maybe a divorce or something like that. In any regards, I feel like one of the blocks here you have towards your goals is this justice. This doesn't seem fair, kind of, is what I'm picking up from this. Okay, let's see. What's the second block then? What's your second block? Okay, your second block is finding wise counsel. also a sense of maybe belonging, learning. So in regards to if this is a school situation, you're having a challenge maybe with your teachers or something like that. And there's something that you feel isn't fair in this situation. When it comes to like a divorce or something like that, or some sort of legal situation, there's an injustice when it comes to wise counsel. Okay, so you feel like maybe there's not enough fairness. Maybe one person can afford a lawyer and maybe you can't, or vice versa, or whatever. When it comes to personal situations, it feels like there's a challenge when it comes to wise counsel in the sense of belonging. So maybe you can't talk to somebody, or if this is like a friend or a relationship, it's like maybe you broke up and now you can't talk to anybody about it, or maybe you're together and you feel you can't talk to anybody. Okay, and then your third challenge here, you have the Queen of Air. And so I'm taking this card to be, you're all up in your head because of a joke or something you did not find funny. That maybe, and Spirit says your challenge here, your block here, is finding that humorous approach in the situation. Okay. Ooh, okay, so then what is advice from Spirit? What do we have here? Let's use these guys, y'all. Let's use these ones. Okay, what is your advice for these guys here? Okay, your advice is to relax. You have the relaxation card. So you need to communicate something, and then that's it. You need to put an ending to something, right? You need to communicate it, end it, relax. You also have the wisdom of the Magi. So there is something, and this fell right over the wise counsel. So there is something that you need to change when it comes to, and the wisdom of the Magi, I'm picking these two cards up as the same, wise counsel and the wisdom of the Magi, right? So there is something you need to change in regards to this. Okay, whether it, and you got the mental clarity, so whether that be you need to change your counsel, so you need to stop investing in what you're investing in, or you need to change your perspective when it comes to this counsel. Okay, and then what else do we have for you? You have a decision to make. It does feel like what is happening to you is happening because of past life guides. There are karmic lessons to be learned here. So whatever is happening to you right now, whatever is creating these blocks, probably not what you want to hear, but there is a lesson that is meant to come out of whatever this is. And actually, karmic lessons, and then at the bottom of this card it says karma. It feels like your goals, your passionate goals, are being met with some sort of karma. Okay? And you're sort of not finding this funny. Of course you wouldn't. Right? Who would? Okay. So I'm getting a element here that you need to forgive yourself for whatever this is in order to create new partnerships and new beginnings for yourself. You need to forgive whatever maybe this wise counsel was in the past or whatever, or that you have to change or whatever, or maybe, I don't know. But you need to forgive yourself for because there's an element here with this. Somebody didn't expand because they took advice from someone they thought was a wise counselor, but it turned out not to be. And that created a system of karma for you. And now you're like, I just get this up in your head, like, why? Why did this happen? Why did I listen to them? Why? And so there's an element here of having to forgive yourself for the why. Because sometimes there is no why. We have to go through certain lessons to play out our karma. Right? Like sometimes there is no why. It's just, there is a why, but it's like you could never have stopped the why. The why just is the why for why? I don't know. Because that's karma. Right? Like, so you have to accept that and be okay with it and take the lessons that you learn from it to move forward. Okay? Okay. Yeah, we'll get one more. Sorry. Prosperity. So I feel like your goals will be met with prosperity. But you had to go through these karmic lessons in order to appreciate your successes and your abundance in the future. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Now, surrender cards. Oh. Well, I guess you need to surrender to play. Because you've seen it flipped out. So, take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Playtime is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. So, get out there and Go do something fun. It feels like you're dwelling maybe on this situation a little bit, and you need to remove yourself from it. So go out, with friends, go enjoy yourself, play a game, play a sport, play something, right? Just have more fun. And be less serious. Okay, that should be my middle name. Less serious. I am less serious. That should be my middle name. Because I'm not serious most of the time. I come across serious, but I am like the least serious person you've ever met. Okay, anyways. Okay, message from the universe. Begin to explore. So yeah, explore your passions, explore new things, explore new people. Just get out and forget about whatever this was. Yeah, just, like, it still feels a little bit like you're in fight mode, like you're like, I don't know, you always expect the worst, and it's like, it's okay to be truthful with ourselves, but we have to be truthful. We have to see the good and the bad. We can't just see the bad all the time. We have to be, but it's okay to see the realistic expectations of whatever outcome, right? But we have to be real. Like, we have to know the coin, when we flip the coin in the air, it's gonna come down one way or the other. We know that, but we don't exactly know whether it's gonna be heads or tails. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I hope it made sense. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna leave the reading there. So much love and light. Take care.